Ooh, welcome everyone to the Daily Juice Podcast on the Betting Pros Network. I'm your host, Sean Second the Money Green. Give me a follow on Twitter at Sean T. Green. And as always, Daily Juice is being brought to you by BetMGM. Use that promo code JUICE, and if either team scores a touchdown, good for college and pros, $10 bet turns into $200 in free bets. Restrictions apply. Hey, how about those Philadelphia Phillies? The Fightins, let's go, baby. 6-5 victory. What a victory. Was I nervous when they were down 5-0? Of course not. I was terrified, I would say, on a number of levels, but I had a decent amount of confidence considering they were down 5-0. What a hilarious night personally as well. So if you missed the other episodes, like I said, I was coming out here to Texas for the Texas A&M game, which is tonight. I'm assuming you're listening to this on Saturday. But last night for Game 1, staying over in Houston, gotta rep my Phillies jersey. So go out. Of course, the only place to hang out and drink and eat is at a Astros bar. So I'm just sitting there, dancing on my own, eating chicken wings, cheering on the Phils. Man, what a game. Oh, I need a cigarette. Not a smoker, but need a cigarette after that one. What an amazing catch by Nick Castellanos. In teams who have been up 5-0 in the World Series are 589 and now 19. It was 18 games, now 19. Justin Verlander, of course, still has not got a World Series win in 8 starts. It all it took was a little crack. MVP update, Alec Boehm, 2 clutch RBIs. That was a pretty sweet, 2 RBI double. And then Bryce Harper obviously played really well as 2 for 4. Man, just everyone came up at the right time. It's just this team. It's a team of destiny. And again, I feel like I won't get, everyone's just like, oh, of course you picked the Phillies. The Phillies won. And some of that's certainly true. But this team, I'm trying to tell people, they have it. They have that mojo. They have that spark. You see it every once in a while in certain sports teams, and this Phillies team has it. So if you're not riding with the Phils, I don't know what you're doing. You're missing out. Hey, you're also missing out if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/bettingpros. Hit the subscribe button over there. Comment on this very video, and you're automatically entered to win an autographed Brandon Ayuk jersey, courtesy of Pristine Auction. All right, switching gears here. Just going to go all college football. Well, we'll get back to the World Series, but here we go. All 2-unit plays for the college football slate. First up, Notre Dame at Syracuse. Again, you guys know what I'm doing. I'm going with Syracuse. People might be annoyed. Sean, every week you pick Syracuse. Well, Syracuse is 6-1 ATS. So let's go Syracuse. Laying 1.5 over on BetMGM. The Carrier Dome is just a hard out. 5-0 there. And they're just a really tough team to play. And then Notre Dame, I just don't see it. I've never seen it with this Notre Dame team. I know I picked against them when they went up against North Carolina, and they destroyed North Carolina. This Syracuse team is not North Carolina. They play some defense. They're physical. They'll turn you over. And, man, did they look good against Clemson. I know they blew that game, some of which the refs certainly deserve some fault. But what I really liked hearing out of the Syracuse head coach Dino Babers was that he admitted he didn't get Sean Tucker involved enough in the game plan. That's all I need to hear. And the Cuse defense may have their hands full a little bit, but crowd noise, hostile environment, and their knack for turnovers. I think they're going to get the outright win, get the cover, laying 1.5. Next up, Ohio State at Penn State. Give me Penn State plus 15.5. Over on BetMGM. I know I'm a sucker here for this Penn State team. This feels a little, this is a better matchup for them than Michigan, especially in hindsight. Ohio State really has not been tested. Only one Greek road game so far this season. And in general, Ohio State has had trouble covering against Penn State. They're 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games against Penn State. And I like this nugget I came across. In all 8 of James Franklin's games as a head coach against Ohio State, Penn State has held the Buckeyes under their season scoring average. So that's a formula for covering a spread, especially a 15.5 point spread, as the Penn State Nittany Lions are catching 15.5. And Penn State has a really good secondary there. We saw the Ohio State passing game. I know you look at the box score and they're like, oh, they destroyed Iowa. Did they? I know again, the game was result probably never in doubt, but their passing offense struggled a little bit. Penn State secondary is good. You can make a case probably best in the Big Ten. I think they can slow them down enough. And to that point, the James Franklin scoring under as well. So give me Penn State plus 15.5. Next up, Oklahoma State catching 1.5. Looks like it was just 2. Just switched to 2. Oklahoma State plus 2 at Kansas State over on BetMGM. Oklahoma State is great on the road. 8-0 ATS the last 8 games. Wins over Texas was nice. And I think it was really a nice confidence booster for this Oklahoma State team. Adrian Martinez, Kansas State quarterback, he's not a lock to play. And judging by this line, I don't think he will play. We'll have to see. Either way, I like Oklahoma State, especially at this number. I think, in these situations, sometimes what ends up happening is obviously they do play, and then they end up not being 100%. And I think that could really, and their backup quarterback also got banged up in that Kansas State game. I mean, Kansas State in general, double OT loss to TCU. I think that was really kind of a backbreaker, dream crusher game for Kansas State. And I like Oklahoma State catching a couple points here. I just don't think they're going to be the same either without Adrian Martinez or without him being 100%. So give me Oklahoma State plus 2. And again, they've been great on the road ATS. So I'm going to keep riding that. Last but not least, I'm going to the game. If you're going to a game, you got to bet on the home team. Unless your team obviously is playing that team, or you got like some sweet money line dog action you like. But if you're probably going to the game, you're gonna want to root for the home crowd, get in that sweet environment. I will try and storm the field if Texas A&M wins a game. Although I don't know if any of the other I don't know how the rest of Aggie Nation feels about that, but gig 'em. Let's go. Ole Miss at Texas A&M. I'm taking Texas A&M plus 2.5. Ole Miss, quietly like a dream crusher game themselves. I was kind of hoping Ole Miss would win so that we could at this Texas A&M game, they'd be facing an undefeated Ole Miss team. But Ole Miss got up 17-3 against LSU and then just 42-6 after that. So it's crazy to get blown out after being up 14 points. Real crazy. Now, Aggies are coming off a tough loss against South Carolina, but they did outgain them by 100 yards. So if you're a yards per play person, that's a good sign. They blew it with some poor special teams, turnovers, how average teams lose on the road. The difference is now they're back home, and there's a lot of drama surrounding the program. A couple freshmen got kicked off the team for smoking weed before the game in the locker, which, well, whatever your pregame ritual is, you would imagine don't smoke weed in the locker room right before the game. But they're kicked off. A lot of rumbling like, hey, what are we going to do with Jimbo Fisher? But we can't buy him out because his buyout's crazy. I think this is a back against the wall kind of game for Texas A&M. It's a night game, 6:30 kick. I think they're going to be up for this game, and I just don't see it for Ole Miss right here. So give me Texas A&M and the Aggies as a 2.5 point home dog. And again, all these are 2-unit plays. So Texas A&M plus 2.5, Oklahoma State plus 2, Penn State plus 15.5 at home, and Syracuse minus 1.5. Hey, as always, follow us on TikTok at Betting Pros. Check out betmgm.com. Use that sign-up code JUICE. And follow me on Twitter at Shunty Green. Check out my other podcast, the Sports Gambling Podcast. Exactly how it sounds. How about those, Phils? One more time. What a game. The Fightins are back. Everyone thought it was crazy. Crazy like a fox, baby. Let's go, Phils. You know what to do. Subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, don't forget to let it ride.